Hi guys, Canada released earlier today their U17s roster for the upcoming men's under 17s roster, which and the men's 17 World Cup, which starts right at the end of the women's under 17 World Cup. We'll try to keep you posted on everything Canadian and some of the African teams as well. But just want to give you a breakdown of the roster and kind of how that looks. So here is the roster as it stands on the screen, guys. By the way, we are the African Zoo, primarily Canadian and African content. So if you like one of the two, or even like both, make sure you leave a subscribe. For the U17s, as always, tell us players you're excited to see. I know there's some names out there that people are excited to talk about. But let's talk about what we have here. So Andre Ali Gas Prasad, Mino Bermiers, Richard Chukwu, William Daniels, Sahil Deo, Aiden Evans, Timothy Fortier, Owen Graham Roche, Shola Jimo, Dylan Judolson, Stefan Kapoor, Samin Sketa, Kevin Kahn, Sergei Kozlowski, Jean-Dick Nitziero, Van Parker, Jonathan Ransom, Elijah Roche, Agila Sadek, Johnny Selimani, and Yuma Tsuji. Like the roster, as normal, I always like to try to see what's happened. And the U17 has had an interesting year when it comes to just camps and moving forward. I counted about 4 gatherings. There may have been 5, to be honest, but I kind of was going through looking at rosters. There was a qualifier in February, the May camp, there was a September camp, and then the final World Cup roster. Of note, the colors won't make any sense to you guys, just kind of how I track it. Anything that's in black are players, black and red are players who've made it through from the beginning of the year all the way to the end. And the long and short of it is 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 players, technically 13, because but 13 players have been with the program from the beginning of the year all the way to the end of the year. Um, Anton Bosenberry, who's coming in as an alternate, has been with all 4 camps, but he is here as an alternate versus a real player. But 12 players have been able to come through the whole thing. And that's actually very interesting. I like what we've seen from Canada Soccer actually having camps, seeing players, seeing different names and come through. And I think that will only help. And because the nature of having U17s every year, camps will be very much important as they release that. CONCACAF also just randomly put in, it wasn't randomly, CONCACAF announced the draw for qualification for next year's round, which happens in February, which means we're already thinking from one side or the other. That being said, let's remind you all of what is coming in terms of the men's U17s later this year. It starts just in the beginning of November, so in a couple of weeks is when it will get going. It's a 48 team tournament, which means this will be pretty much a nice preview of what the World Cup will feel like here in North America. And as for Canada, there are a lot of interesting thought processes that go through, and it's nice to build with players. We had, was it 9 teams from Asia, 10 from Africa, 8 from CONCACAF, 7 from South America, CONMEBOL, 3 from Oceania, and 11 from Europe altogether. And we talked about how it goes through. There will be third place finishers of the likes. When it comes to Canada, we'll actually give you all the groups as they sit here. So Qatar, Italy, South Africa, Bolivia, Group A, Japan, Morocco, New Caledonia, Portugal, Group B, Senegal, Croatia, Costa Rica, UAE, Group C, Argentina, Belgium, Tunisia, Fiji, Group D, England, Venezuela, Haiti, Egypt, Group E, Group F, Mexico, South Korea, Cote d'Ivoire, and Switzerland, Group G, Germany, Colombia, North Korea, El Salvador, Group H, Brazil, Honduras, Indonesia, and Zambia, Group I, United States, Burkina Faso, Tajikistan, and Czech Republic or Czechia, Group J, Paraguay, Uzbekistan, Panama, and the Republic of Ireland. Group K, where we find Canada with France, Chile, and Uganda. I think that will be a very formidable group. I hope they can get through. You cannot take any of these sides for granted. Everyone has talent and they can play. We'll talk about how my expectations for Canada in a minute. Group L, Mali, New Zealand, Austria, and Saudi Arabia. And then, as we said, 8 of the best third place finishes of the 12 groups will move on, and it gets funky and it gets really confusing, but it'll be fun. Games every day, overlapping matches as well. So we are very much looking forward to what that will look like. When it comes to rosters and players that I'm intrigued to see, I mean, you see the name Chuku, you're thinking, wait, there's another? Yes, there's also another one as well, guys. The Chukus are all coming. Annabelle and Izzy are the twins up top. They're making waves, but the brothers are on their tails trying to catch some of that limelight. But I'm curious to see what this lineup will look like, especially when they start to play. I think Andre Aligas Persad is a player that I liked in their qualification rounds. I also liked what I saw from Kevin Kahn, Deo as well, Aiden Evans, all good names that will be good. You cannot forget about the defenders in the back. Sergei Kozlovsky, I think, could have a really big tournament defending. I'm wondering what they decide to do in goal as well. But those are some of the names I'm looking forward to. If you're Canadian, jump into the comments. Tell me who you are looking forward to seeing in terms of what this roster could be, what could come from it. Also, because we're talking about the U17s, we also did have announced our qualifiers for the next round of competitions, which start in February, as we said. And for CONCACAF, Canada is grouped with in Group G with Jamaica, Aruba, and the Cayman Islands. And reminder again, you top your group. After 6 games, you are headed back to Qatar. And that's something we'll be keeping an eye on. Guys, let me know who you're excited to see. Guys, let me know what you're excited to see in this tournament, how curious you are. And as always, I'm going to stop talking right